We just finished the best month of the year, July. And even though I only saw 4 new releases, all 4 of them are good. All 4 of them. Number 4, I gave 3 stars. Starting at number 3, 4.5, baby. Fantastic month for movies. Before I dive into this month, I want you guys to subscribe, hit the like button, hit the bell, and hey, comment down below what is your ranking of the films that you saw this month. Which ones did you see? Did you like them? Did you not? Want to know all that and more. Obviously, it's been also a big month for the box office with The Odyssey just crossing $1 billion today. Spider-Man Brand New Day crossed $1 billion in its first weekend. Wow. But yeah. What is your ranking of the movies? Movies are back. Movies have never left, but if they left, I could finally say they're back. I had a great time in the theater this month. And in my number 4 spot is probably a movie that you've never heard of. And I would know because I've never heard of it until one of my friends messaged me and she's like, hey, want to go see this with me? I was like, why not? Probably hate it, but I'll go anyways. It's called Bad Counselors. And I had a pretty good time with it. Now, it's not anything special, right? The overall premise is 2 party-hard college kids. They need to do parole, so they go and they volunteer at a church camp. And they're just doing the church camp stuff. You know exactly what happens in this movie if you've seen any feel-good Christian movie ever. And as a Christian, I'm not a fan of Christian movies, okay? I'm just going to throw it out there. I think all of them have the exact same plot, and a lot of them try to preach to you, which, when I watch a movie, I don't watch a movie to be preached to. I watch a movie to be entertained. And so, I didn't think I'd like this one off the trailer, and off the fact that, nobody but, 3 people know what this is. And it was fun, it's a fun, feel-good movie. It certainly had me have a smile on my face for a good chunk of the film. I think the cast is really good. I think there is some fun comedic moments. Nothing too emotional, but there are some solid, sad scenes in here. Like my friend, I believe she was crying during this movie. Couldn't be me, but still, it hit people on an emotional level. And for a Christian movie, I don't really think it really preach to you. There are still the sequences, obviously, and it's good, it's a movie that talks about God while also not just being fully on, it's a Christian movie, you gotta have these exact beliefs right now. No. Its main focus is pretty much to make you laugh, and I do think there are some solid gags in this film. However, it is very predictable. You know exactly what's going to happen at every single point in the movie before it even happens. Very predictable movie. You've seen it 1 billion times before, but I had a smile on my face. I had a good enough time with Bad Counselors, and I laughed, had fun with my friend. What more could you ask for a movie? It is still very, very, very 3 stars coded, though. At my number 3 spot, Evil Dead Burn. We go from a Christian movie to an Evil Dead movie. Kind of crazy. Evil Dead is the most consistent horror franchise of all time. I really enjoy the Evil Dead franchise. This is one of my favorites out of the franchise. This is my number 2. I did put out a ranking. You can go check out my ranking of all of the Evil Dead movies. However, this one is my number 2. Not to spoil that ranking, there are many things I love from this one. I love all the practical effects. I love the gore. It is a very gross movie. And as a fan of the Evil Dead franchise, this probably is the most mean-spirited one. And I mean that in the best way, where all the kills are gory. They make you want to look away. Makes you, squint through your hands at certain times with how gory it can be. Now, a little bit too mean-spirited, not to spoil the movie, but there is a dog that gets stabbed in the eye and you see it. It's very sad. I'm a big dog lover, but, I don't like seeing dogs die. Not gonna lie, though, it was a deadite dog. Deadite dog. New idea, cool idea, something new we've seen in this franchise, so I can't be too mad. Plus, it's a very CGI dog, doesn't really look real. And that's a complaint I've been seeing online. For some freaking stupid reason, this past week has been nothing on Twitter but Evil Dead hate. When this movie came out, it is in the high 90s. Critics love this movie. My problem with the movie is that the marketing was pretty bad for it, so I forgot it existed until, like, the day I was seeing it. I was like, what am I seeing tonight? Oh, Evil Dead, that's right. But, like, that's the only complaint I've seen before this week, and now all of a sudden they're like, bad Evil Dead movie, it looks like crap, it's got a bad CGI creature in the end, bad movie, when, like, anybody else that's not on film Twitter thinks this movie's great. I'm sorry, I hate film Twitter, but a lot of people hate the gray atmosphere of it. I think it enhances the movie, in my opinion. It enhances the feeling of being trapped in this gross area and enhances the scares. That's what this movie does well. So it has all the Evil Dead-isms you love, while also having some pretty good characters. Not the most memorable, but pretty good characters. And the themes of the film that we do explore, I do think works. My problem with this movie after I've seen it is, all this time later, it's not the most memorable film in the Evil Dead franchise. Like, literally 4 days later, I thought about this movie as, I was like, I had a lot of fun watching it, but now it's like 4 days later, and I don't really remember a whole lot from the movie. And that sucks, because Evil Dead Rise is awesome. And then this movie was really fun and awesome, and then all of a sudden I'm like, not the most memorable plot. I remember certain things that happened, but not the most memorable plot. And so that's kind of what holds it back from not only being my number one, but from being my number one in the Evil Dead franchise, that is, but from going out of just the number 3 spot in this ranking as a whole. But I still did really enjoy Evil Dead Burn, and I do want it to come out on physical media so I can re-watch it. My runner-up, the movie I saw 3 times in a theater this month. Actually, in this past weekend. It's Spider-Man Brand New Day. Now, I have a Spider-Man Brand New Day review, a Brand New Day spoiler review, and a Spider-Man ranking, so I have several videos where I talk about this movie. So I'm not going to spend too much time on it, because as much as I enjoyed the movie, it is a little boring talking about the same movie with the same positives and the same negatives, because after 3 watches, I still kind of like have the same positives and the same negatives I do after my first watch. Nothing really changed, except I did really enjoy this movie, and I still really enjoy this movie. What this one does best is the direction from Destin Daniel Cretton. The swinging scenes look awesome and straight out of a comic book. The action scenes are vibrant and visually pleasing. And he also understands Spider-Man. He understands the character of Spider-Man. And this is a movie about not being alone, and I think that really works for this character. Not only is his specific arc really good, but I also thought it was really well done about the overall themes of the movie, about being alone, and certain sequences as we enter the end of the movie make me tear up every time. And to be completely honest, this is probably the most emotionally satisfying Spider-Man movie, where there are scenes in this movie that are better than any scene in any Spider-Man movie ever on the emotional scale. I definitely 100% teared up at times. So, with it being a fun Spider-Man movie to watch with like the Spider-Man stuff and an emotionally satisfying film, I think this one's really good. There are some pacing problems. I think the first half of the movie is a little bland until we pick it up in the second half of the movie, once we hit a certain part in the film. And you know what? I'm going to spoil it. So if you want, skip to my number 1, which is the Odyssey, in bang, boom, you see it. But the villain here, 3, 2, 1, is Jean Grey, played by Sadie Sink, who plays Jean Grey perfectly. Like, there are lines that that Sadie Sink delivers that are perfect. I don't really like this iteration of Jean Grey. I don't think her motivation for hating damage control should have been, oh, I have a sister and she's dead. I have a dead sister. Stupid. Just do it that damage control has some, like, I know this movie might be overstuffed with, like, Hulk, Yelena, Punisher, and it doesn't feel overstuffed at all. But honestly, you probably could have been like, they got Scott Summers and have her rescue Scott Summers, and then by the end of the movie, them go off to the X-Mansion, and that's how you introduce the X-Men, instead of her just being, I got a dead sister. And also, today, Kit Harington was cast as Cyclops. So, Scott Summers. I don't really know much about him. I really don't think I've seen anything that he's performed in, but I think visually he's got the look for it, so there's that. Sup, it's me again, editing Zach this time. Upon further thoughts, I don't really know how they would do the whole Peter scene where he's like, "You're not alone, Jean, you have me," if she didn't have a dead sister, because when she finds out her sister dies, that's when she's fully on, like, oh, I'm fully alone in this world, and then Peter does that. I don't know. I still feel like it's a little bit of a missed opportunity to not introduce, like, Scott Summers or another big-name X-Men, but also, like, it was a great scene and great emotions. I don't know. I just don't like the fact that they just give Jean Grey a sister that just instantly dies. I don't know. Still a little bit indifferent. I think maybe how they handle Jean Grey and the X-Men in the future will make me fully decide, like, did I like it or did I not like it? But anyway, spoilers in for Brand New Day. So I think it's really good. Just some pacing issues and certain spoilery issues. But easily, my number one. And I say easily, like, just imagining that Spider-Man and Evil Dead weren't great. Easily, number one is The Odyssey. Easily. And it is not close, and it's not ever gonna be close. The Odyssey is perfection. What Christopher Nolan's able to pull off here is so impressive and is one of the best films ever made. And 3 weeks later, I still stand by The Odyssey is one of the best films ever made. So, should probably dive into what I actually loved about this movie. Number one, the story of The Odyssey is a story I love, and I think that all the set pieces, when he goes to the island, he faces the Cyclops, the Giants, Cersei, all the stuff that he faces is great, and Christopher Nolan crafts them perfectly. I mean, when you have a giant Cyclops and you don't CGI it, you use an actual puppet, you know you're doing something right. And then the final act of the movie, when it's the whole revenge plot, is great. I wasn't so sure what I thought about that on my first viewing, but my second viewing fully solidified the fact that it's great. The cast is all perfect. You got Matt Damon, Tom Holland, John Bernthal, Anne Hathaway. I'm trying to think of more names. It's a stacked cast, and everybody's doing their part. It's a movie that nobody carries. There's not a single person who carries this movie. They're all just so unbelievably good. Robert Pattinson! Somebody get these beggars out of here! Robert Pattinson is so unbelievably good in this movie as well as everybody else. So the movie looks great. It's shot great. The sequences are awesome. The score by Göransson, if this does not win Best Score this year, I will genuinely be baffled. My brains might explode. So this is a very well done movie. It's a very impressive movie. The filmmaking skills is all at the forefront. I loved The Odyssey. So thank you guys for clicking on my ranking of the 4 July films I have seen. With that said, tell me yours in the comments and subscribe.